everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't already, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Today we're taking a look at what's sold on Poshmark in the month of January. I've pulled out all the highlights of our sales, plus all of the plush sales. So if it was a plush and it sold on Poshmark in January, you're going to see it today. And then as far as everything else, I just pulled out some highlights to talk about with you. This is not all of our sales from Poshmark. I want to start with the bundle here. We made $30 on 8 items, but I want to point out a couple of things. The Disney Nightmare Before Christmas, the Batman Harley Quinn pajamas, those were both my items back a couple months ago when Keith cleaned out our closet and our dresser, and we've been kind of slowly listing in the items that were ours to sell. They're starting to move. We didn't make them a priority, and I've been talking about this on the channel for a couple of months. But when you clean your house, when you clean out your closet, your coat closet, maybe you clean off a shelf and decide certain knickknacks or certain plush your kids don't need when they grow up, you can always list it and sell it. We're resellers. So we don't have to clean out our house and donate stuff. You can list it. But don't make it a priority because, you know, my Disney Nightmare Before Christmas that I paid 99 cents for, that I wore for 2 years before I decided I didn't want it anymore, you know, it's going to sell for like $10. So it's not a priority over stuff that I'm specifically sourcing to resell, but you can still list your items to resell. Just source from your own house sometimes. So those two were mine. And then a lot of these plush were the very tiny poop plush, as I call them, out of a wholesale lot. And again, with those, when I buy a big lot of plush or a huge gaylord of plushies, if they're the tiny ones that aren't going to sell for a lot of money or they're poop, I set them aside and I'll get a big box and I'll just keep tossing them in there. Once the box is full, I can take an afternoon, maybe even on a Saturday, watch a movie and photograph those items and get them listed. But they're not a priority. You should always prioritize first in, first out, with the exception of above and beyond of first in, first out. You should be listing seasonally and most valuable or biggest profit first. List all the things all year, but if it's September and October, you want to prioritize your Christmas items, your jackets, your jeans. When it's coming to spring, you want to prioritize Valentine's, Easter plush, shorts. But when you're out of those, then you can move on to the other seasonal items, and then you can move on to your poop. But I wanted to show you that one buyer bought all of these items, and she bundled them all together, which is even better. And it was really fun to pack this box. Next, we have a Disney Moana. I'm not going to say the name of the rooster because I'm not going to say it correctly, and I don't want to be offensive or called out. But if you know how to pronounce it, and you can spell it phonetically down below for me, that would be great. This sold for $8. Little Lad Lion Lovey sold for $15. This is one of the cutest loveys I've ever seen. Look at the blanket part. It's got little tiny lion paw prints, lions printed on. It says roar. This is a very cute lovey. Loveys are something you typically do want to source when you find them. And if you're not familiar with them, they're usually a square 12 by 12 or 14 by 14 small security blanket with some type of plush head in the middle, a doll or an animal. They do come in really big sizes. Most of them you're going to find are going to be this size. And depending on the brand, they can sell from, you know, $10 to $12 all the way up to $60, $80, and even more. Build-A-Bear Batman teddy bear. I almost kept this. I thought he was really cute, but he did have some damage, and I didn't want to take the effort to fix it or take it to the Build-A-Bear store myself to add it to my own collection. So I decided just to list it with the damage and disclose it. He would have been probably more of a $30 to $40 Build-A-Bear, but with his damage and everything, he was more like a $15 to $20. And then they pay shipping on Poshmark, so we let it go on a best offer of $13. But if you find a Batman Build-A-Bear who's in really good shape, you can expect to get a lot more money for it. But don't be afraid to sell damaged items. You can always just disclose it, show photos, put it in the description, and some people will still buy damaged items. I think especially with the Build-A-Bears, because they're the craftsman tools of the plush world, you can literally take these to the store and get them fixed. To the hospital, the bear hospital. This is a hamster. I actually like this guy so much. He did hang out on my desk with me for a couple of months, and I would play with him. You squeeze his hand and talk, and then he repeats back what you say. Only he does it in a little hamster voice. He's really cute. I think I actually made a couple of reels of him talking and me playing with him for Instagram. But I eventually did list him and let him go for $15. This is a vintage 80s Garfield. The brand is United Feature Syndicate. This is what their vintage tags look like. They're not printed front and back. They're printed on one long tag, and then it's folded over in the middle and attached to the plush. A lot of vintage tags are like that. This has the date on it. And this is also the Garfield from the Garfield cartoon movie Move Over Duke. And he's a John Wayne parody with his big old hat. Next, we have these Hallmark itty bitties. I actually remember when I pulled these out of a plush lot on a unboxing, and I was real excited. We do a lot of itty bitties. Most of them are going to sell for $6 plus shipping. Some sell for $20, $25, depending on the character you get. I'd never had them new on the card, and even though it had creases and was a little damaged, I was still excited to have them new on the card. These two guys sold for $13. Next, we have an vintage 90s Eden Goodnight Moon. Most of the prices on Poshmark reflect offers that we consider on Poshmark. I do offers a little bit lower on here than I would on eBay. And they pay more shipping here, and they kind of expect offers. So you have to price accordingly. A vintage Snuggle. You guys are probably familiar with the Snuggle fabric. Snuggle fabric softener there. This is his plush. He sold for $20. He's cute, isn't he? All right, that's all the plushies that sold on Poshmark. Now we're just going to talk about some of the highlights of our sales. I just kind of picked out brands or things I want to show you or talk about. I have mentioned Wranglers before. I do like the men's Wranglers. I do avoid women's. The men's sell quickly. They have a very loyal following. I feel like a lot of men that have like construction, electrician, ranch, outdoor, any kind of like jobs like that, they do wear these to work. And they're tried and true. I mean, they have a loyal fan base or customer base. They sold for $19. Apparently had two of the tabs open for the bundle. Here's an El Becco post office regulation uniform work shirt. Don't ever list these on eBay. eBay will give you notice to take it down, but you can sell them on Poshmark, or at least I did. $45. Ariat jeans. So have you heard of these? I hadn't until I got them in the ThredUp, which is why I love ordering ThredUp boxes, because a lot of times I get new to me brands I've never seen and probably will never see at a thrift where I live. They have distribution centers all over America, and they take in donations from all over America. So you can find new to you brands. This is Ariat, sold for $28. This is Nat Nast. I would still pick this up when I find it in the thrift store. Its value has kind of gone down as, can you guess what I'm going to say? As people race to the bottom and act like turds and nincompoops. Don't do it. We used to list Nat Nast men's button fronts for $40 and $50 and sell them at that price. Now you can get like $20 to $30. That's still a good brand. And then last but not least, I wanted to show you my Levi's 515s. These are women's capris. They're new with tags, size 16. So usually the 515s capris, I'm going to start probably around 35 or 40, even on eBay. So like even 25 plus 10 ship. So this was a really good sale on Poshmark. It went on the higher end, and I don't believe it even went on an offer. It just sold at our asking price, which is always nice. But those are the highlights of our sales from Poshmark in January. We had a lot of bread and butter items, our tried and true brands and jeans and other items that sold. Our Poshmark is public if you ever want to go through our solds there and take a look. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Until next time, go be productive, go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.